Hello, fellow mutants. Copper Mutant here. Here I am, unable to restrain myself from creating new content for the Mutant Crawl Classics RPG. Today I have a new class to introduce, the Antiquarian. This is not play-tested, so I'd appreciate it if you have any feedback. This pure strain human class stands on its own, but the problem I was trying to solve with this new class is something actually directly referenced as a problem on page 166 of the MCC rulebook. And I quote, "Because your players are members of a 21st century society, describing the artifacts of the ancients to their primitive characters can become problematic."
They may be hiding in one of these tunnels. Could this be a marker to the humans' hideaway?
Not quite. It's a movie poster.
Movie?
They were shows. Moving pictures on a big white wall. Forget it. It's not a marker.
Every time the player sees something in the game and they know what it is and its purpose, for example, say the exterior of an ancient diner is described and inside they find a can opener on a table, they have to pretend at being ignorant of it for the sake of the character. The rulebook suggests roundabout descriptions of the items, but once the players realize what the game of verbal charades is getting at, they still have to keep up the pretense of ignorance. These situations could be an opportunity for peak role-playing and funny beer and pretzels moments of laughs as, for example, you knowingly turn a rifle barrel toward your own face to express your character's lack of knowledge. After all, DCC and MCC are known for untimely character deaths. Or this could end up creating a situation similar to where a sneaky player has read through an adventure module beforehand and somehow just knows all the right things to do to get past a dangerous encounter, engendering a sort of cat-and-mouse game of distrust between player and game master. Imagine there's a landmine on the ground. At least one member of an ignorant Stone Age party might try to pick it up. But the players know what it is from the description, and if they don't outright avoid it, they apply insincere skepticism to their characters' actions. Again, a neat idea from Jim Wampler for a global Stone Age setting with characters largely ignorant of advanced technology, but I can see how it could be abused or poorly acted out by less than mature players, unless you give them the out of having an antiquarian come along to explain things where needed. Would every group of players need one? Certainly not. But for some players, like my 8-year-old son who is itching to play, having one along for the ride could help a great deal, and possibly help define what the characters can or should not know. Simply put, the Antiquarian knows a lot about the ancient ones, their relics, and the world that came before. To most they appear almost as crazed mystics, adorned in knickknacks, trash, and apparel mimicking that of the ancients. But they are the most advanced historians in whatever Terra A.D. Stone Age settlement may be lucky enough to have them. They eschew word of mouth in favor of direct experience and study, and collect any scraps of information on the ancients they can find. Just as you'd want an Egyptologist or an archaeologist with you on an Egyptian dig site, you'd want an antiquarian to guide you into unearthed vaults of the ancient ones. I'll read from the page 1 PDF I created here. Or I should say the one-page PDF. I'll also make this available for download and a link in the description for those who'd like to try out the Antiquarian. You are a historian, a seeker of lost knowledge, an artifact hunter, a keeper of forgotten lore, and a hoarder of all things related to the ancient ones. Your eyes are trained to spot the slightest trace of faded plasteel fused into a jumble of rocks, and you obsessively search for any evidence of the distant past even in the most mundane objects. With each new discovery, your knowledge deepens. Despite your peculiarities, such as a tendency to adorn yourself in an assortment of mismatched, dirty, and broken trinkets of the ancients, or how you wistfully speak of better days you never experienced, your knowledge of forgotten places and artifacts is second to none and highly sought after. Antiquarian abilities. Inquisitive, pure-strain humans who find themselves obsessed with the lost marvels of the ancient ones choose to become antiquarians. Where shamans focus on word of mouth, legend, and myth, Antiquarians seek to uncover lost knowledge through their own direct experiences and research, which may involve dangerous treks into the wilderness on the thinnest of evidence of the remnants of some ancient object or ruin. Hit points. Antiquarians gain 1d6 hit points at each level. Artifact experience. Antiquarians' knowledge of the ancients results in an added bonus to artifact checks, as per table below. Antiquarians also gain a +1 to the maximum tech level they can understand. See Table 1.1. Ability score modifiers. And reduce the complexity modifier score of artifacts they attempt to use. See table below. Recognize. Apart from artifacts, upon a successful DC-10 intelligence check, an antiquarian may correctly determine the purpose of an ancient mundane object, room, vehicle, or other specific target of examination. Literacy. Antiquarians can read, speak, and write the language of the ancient ones. Roll a DC-10 intelligence check to decipher partially legible or technical language. Touched. Antiquarians have uncovered awesome and terrifying truths in irradiated ruins that have taken a toll on their minds. At level 2, roll a defect on the Delete Reaction table on page 90. Treat defect as a permanent mental condition, not a mutation. Darwinian luck. Pure strain humans are very lucky as a species. Antiquarians regenerate spent luck at the rate of 1 point for each 24-hour period. AI recognition. Because of their close resemblance to the Ancient Ones, all pure strain humans gain a bonus to AI recognition, but none more so than antiquarians. Learned mannerisms, style of dress, and modes of salutation contribute to a +4 to AI recognition rolls. Archaic alignment. Antiquarians may begin as members of the Curator's Archaic Alignment. Below is the table for the Antiquarian, which shows their specific bonuses, including the artifact complexity modifier, which is unique to Antiquarians. And as a note below, the complexity score modifier bonus cannot drop the CM below 0. The Antiquarian titles are Level 1 Historian, Level 2 Archaeologist, Level 3 Antiquary, Level 4 Chronicler, Level 5 Relic Keeper, and Number 6 Ancient Savant. You'll notice this class actually has a negative ability in Touched, which I added as a bit of flavor and balance since they are so darn good at working with artifacts, and some of the other PSH classes, such as Healer or Sentinel, might find the Antiquarian encroaching on their territory in that regard. While the other classes don't have a negative skill like this, they do have different balance in their stats through leveling. For example, it's also worth noting that a healer who chooses to become a member of the Holy Medicinal Order Archaic Alignment has a major negative of its own, namely renouncing all combat. The touched ability is not considered a mutation, despite rolling in the mutation defect table, so the player needs to take the outcome of the roll without modifying through stat burning as they would a mutation. I think it's a class that could stand on its own whether you're metagaming descriptions of ancient devices or not, since they have advantages to identifying and using them. That said, I probably would think twice before taking the Antiquarian class through a dimensional gate to a DCC setting adventure, since their strength lies in their knowledge of the MCC setting of the MCC setting specific ancients. It would be like taking an Egyptologist to Mars. Speaking of Mars, though, one fun approach or adventure twist would be for some true crossover where a dungeon or ruins in a DCC adventure, such as Peril on the Purple Planet, actually has signs of the MCC Ancient Ones, raising all manner of interesting questions and giving the Antiquarian again an opportunity to shine. Well, that's all I have today here. Copper Mutant is signing out. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like this channel, consider subscribing.